Hi everyone, thanks for joining me today. I'm glad you're here. Moon energies, it's the new moon, was yesterday evening in my time zone around 10 p.m. and I woke up early this morning with lots of emotions and feeling fear of failure is what it comes down to, or that I'm not enough, and fearing failure because I'm not enough, something like that. And I've been thinking the energies this week are about our words. Our words are we say to ourselves, our words we say to others, our reactions to things, and what we say off the top of our mind. And those words come from the subconscious patterns that drive us, that run our lives, and we can change those. And so the energies this week are whatever emotion or whatever old patterns that you are feeling this week. Use those. Know that the sky clock is using those in our favor, bringing up those emotions so that we can make changes in our lives and speak better to ourselves and speak better to others, and thus bring into existence or bring into reality the life we want. And words are powerful. So thank you for being here. I've been trying to remember to say positive things, and when I think of something negative I said, then I call that back. I call back the words I speak that aren't good. And you can do the same. And so, thank you. The super new moon in Gemini illuminated the sky last night in Central Time, marking one of the most consequential lunations of the year. A supermoon occurs when the moon's orbit brings it closer to the Earth than usual, and that intensifies the energetic pull on everything and how we feel that. So when this type of supermoon, or when the orbit like this bringing it closer coincides with the new moon, then the seeds being planted carry exceptional weight. And so in the communicative and quick-witted sign of Gemini, then, the seeds that matter most is our language, the words we speak to ourselves and others. So these words carry power. And this week, the universe is asking us to use language with deliberate intention instead of letting those old subconscious patterns that run our lives slip in and turn our thoughts negative about ourselves or others or situations, and use the negative words. So I'm going to read from moonreading.com. Tonight, this would have been for yesterday, on Sunday, a powerful super new moon in Gemini illuminates the sky, and the words you speak this week carry more weight than you realize. Every story you tell yourself, if you speak it aloud, has the potential to come into being. Every name you give a thing becomes the way that thing exists for you. And right now, one specific story is shaping what comes next. So Gemini is ruled by Mercury, the planet of language and ideas. Under this supermoon, those forces are amplified tenfold. The words you choose, the conversations you start, and the ones you keep avoiding because the architecture of everything that follows. There is one conversation you've been putting off. You know which one. The moon is showing you why it can't wait any longer. So think about the things in your life that you have left unnamed, because naming them would force you to address them, or you don't want to deal with the consequences, or you don't want to deal with the other person says about it, or thinks of you, or whatever. So maybe that feeling for you is about a relationship that is not quite what you need, or maybe it's dissatisfaction that forced you to make a decision that you regretted, or feelings about your work or your home. Once you can name something accurately, you can begin to work with it. And so That's what I did with my old story. Before I get up this morning, I was trying to pinpoint, is it this? No. Is it that? As far as the why I was feeling that way. Not why, but what exactly it was I was feeling. And then when I realized it was like the nodding that I'm not enough and the fear of failure, then I could deal with it. So this week, pay close attention to your internal monologue that runs quietly in your thoughts. And your voice is louder under this moon. So pay attention to how you talk to yourself when no one is listening, because it shapes much of your life. So listen closely and revise what doesn't serve you. Don't get caught up in superficial gossip. That's one way that a lot of unhelpful words we speak come to existence. So choose your words this week as though they'll be repeated, because your subconscious will repeat them. And let the seeds we plant, the words we say, be the words we actually want to grow in our future. And that's primarily about the moon, but it's also about the sun and the stars, right? It included the moon and Gemini and Mercury. And so there's a little bit other information I can give you, is that the vibration of the sun this week is a push to wrap up springtime intentions and celebrate small wins. It's trained on connection and concepts together linking concepts together in your mind, and that which comes with language and bridging the gaps between people again. Often this is the language we speak. And so the Mercury in Cancer requires us to balance what our head says with what our gut feels. Clarity will come from intuition, not just facts. So Mercury in relationship with Mars adds drive and motivation to speak up and execute the ideas. And then the alignment between Venus and Jupiter creates supportive undercurrent for reclaiming the lost parts of ourselves, reclaiming those the truth about us that the old stories have buried, and healing the relational dynamics of love, self-worth, and career and abundance. And I don't even remember writing that down or reading it before, but so much of what I'm feeling, right, of self-worth, career and abundance. I had a client this week already, and it was she was struggling with the love issue of it. And so no matter what those old stories, no matter what the emotions you're feeling this week, please remember the universe is always working in your favor, and that these energies are bringing up those old patterns, those triggering those reactions in us, so that we can make changes and have awareness of it, and make those shifts in our lives easier than if we were just doing it by ourselves. And so let's do the tuning for the words we speak to ourselves and to others, and how that affects our reality. And I'm starting with the weighted fork. Take a deep breath. Inhale through your nose. Exhale, making a sound. Exhale loudly. Maybe loud enough you laugh at yourself. Let the shift start as you become vulnerable in coming into the present moment, and making the hemispheres of your mind come into alignment, so you can hear your spirit, not just those old patterns of subconscious that run us. awareness, more awareness of those emotions and those patterns that we're feeling. So that we can look at them, name them, so to speak, in a positive way. Give a positive statement to the negative feeling that comes, and the negative thoughts that are underlying that feeling. And maybe you need to rewrite first. I was thinking of my, say, fear of failure, meaning that I wouldn't have success. And thinking, well, really, we need to use our words, our language to define success. Success to my subconscious is having enough money to do whatever I want, or seeing results of people thinking highly of me, or of actions that I want to take and being able to do what I want to do and having those come into fruition, see results from the actions. But my spirit says, my spirit that I hear when I come into the present moment and put the hemispheres of my mind in harmony, my spirit says that success is how I listen to spirit and follow my spirit. So use your words to redefine what it is you might be feeling or reacting to. And then you can make a positive statement. So I can say, I am successful. I follow my spirit every day in everything I do. I listen carefully to my spirit, to the spirit of the universe, the great spirit around me. I listen carefully and I follow. I listen to the great spirit in the trees. I hear their advice. I hear the great spirit advice in advice that other people, or thoughts that other people speak. And I'm able to determine which one of those are positive or meant for me. And I hear it and I follow. And then mine also kind of involves money there, right? Success, I set out first, was having the money to do what I wanted, right? And so it might be that way for you. And so my positive thought for that is to turn to wealth, because wealth is different than money. Wealth, according to the ancient Eastern philosophy that I have learned in Feng Shui, wealth is opportunities and the people you know and the connections and opportunities that those people and situations in your life bring you. And so I am wealthy beyond measure because my life is full of helpful people. I like what Ken Honda says, that to think of, when you're thinking of wealth, or to think of how wealthy you might be, then think of how many of your friends or family or other acquaintances that you have, if you were out on the street, if you needed someplace to stay for a while, how many of those people would let you stay with them? And for me, nearly everybody. So it means your life, you're very wealthy. I am very wealthy. Our lives are full of connection and full of helpful people. And if your life is not full of helpful people, there's probably things about your home that show, like it was before I started feng shui. We moved into this old house with so many repairs needed. Well, it was a reflection of our inner selves because of our journey over our lives, but also just the prior 10 years had been very difficult, and we needed to repair those a lot. And we moved here, and I started feng shui over a year ago, and it was like, well, no, I hardly, I knew some people, and yes, some people would let us stay, no doubt, but I wouldn't want to have asked them, right? I wouldn't have asked anyone for help. And so that's part of it, right? Part of opening your heart, opening your mind. But so we have 3 doors in this house, and our back door we use all the time. Our front door wouldn't open, and the other door off the old front porch wouldn't close, so it was locked shut. And so we had the back door loses chi. Chi goes out the back door. So we were losing chi every time we brought some in. Chi comes in the front door, and our front door was locked tight for 5 years or 4 years or whatever it was, right? Because it wouldn't open. And there were so many other repairs needed. We worked on the other things because we had a door to use, right? And so we open our front door. We make sure it opens. We open the 3rd door and make sure it closes. And now chi flows beautiful, and the abundance we have in people and opportunities and changes and shifts in how we see life and in how those come into fruition, come into reality, existence. We have spoken those into existence by making the determination to ourselves that we're going to open those doors. We're going to see where this journey takes us. No matter what, we're going to move forward. And life has, and we have. And the weighted fork, it continues here. So take another deep breath. There we go. And now we're going to clear the ancestral patterns that contribute to ours that we have carried all our lives, that sometime at gestation or birth or early years, or because of traumas in our lives, that kind of flipped the switch and brought these ancestral patterns into action in our lives, into our minds, the old thoughts that are not helpful at all. And because we're doing this work, because we live now in this life, it's our job to change those patterns, not just for us, but in every life of our ancestors that had lived in this world, whether they're all still happening now at the same time, or whether it's linear. Time is linear, and it was from the beginning. We change, and they change, and it changes our children, and it changes the universe. So think of that old pattern that you're experiencing, or that you think you might experience this week if you hadn't noticed it. And let's tune that. Each of us is tuning something different, and the universe knows, because it's what's holding us back. It's what's ready to clear. So we'll clear whatever the sky clock is helping us clear this week. And as I tune, I'm also going to do angelic feng shui to clear these old patterns that are here to clear this week, that the sky clock is bringing up to each of us. And we'll ask the angels of the oneness to transmute those and make those shifts within us. I'm hearing that a lot of our stories is in our perspective and how we see things, so that those subconscious patterns that we're speaking, it's because our perception isn't correct. So look deeply into what it is you're really feeling, what it is that it's really saying to you, those thoughts are saying to you. Name it and speak positive instead, and we will help the angels in transmuting it all. And now those situations, those traumas in our own lives that those patterns may have developed from, whether the traumas were big or just smaller situations that we reacted to and held on to those emotions of resistance for far too long. So hold on. Hold on to that thought. Hold on to what it is and name it and release it with positive thoughts. As we shift the energy flow within our biofields, as we release the particles that were frozen in time and the ethers around us of our biofield. And we'll tune our throat chakras now. We'll tune those, and we'll tune our philtrum here about our mouth energies, which would also include our ear energies, and hearing correctly, so we have the right perception. Connecting it also with our eyes, so we have the right perception of what we see. And tune it so we can speak our thoughts, our feelings, speak the truth of who we are. Speak the truth of our successes. Speak the truth of our love and those we love. And now we'll tune for healing those old patterns, filling any still stagnant areas of our biofield or of our mind or of our body, filling up with light, filling up with love, with healing. And bring harmony then, tuning for harmony of the hemispheres of our mind, to keep them in harmony so we can listen to our spirit more easily all through the day. And harmony in others as our old patterns change to positive, and our patterns with others as we speak the truth in love. Speak the truth to ourselves. Okay. Set the intention to be aware of your inner words and your outer words this week, and to change those into positive thoughts with positive words. And we'll amplify that intention for each of us. And we'll zip up our energies for protecting us from negative mindsets and energies. And we'll connect our ascending flow with the joy of those angels and ancestors and the oneness who are here to help us as much as the sky clock is. So that's all for the day. Thank you so much. We'll catch you next time. Bye-bye. Please like and subscribe too.